Call the meeting to order of the Vergne Planning Commission, April 28, 2015. We have a quorum present. Do I have approval of the minutes for the March 31st, 2015 regular meeting?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Okay. New business. Number 1, site plan requested by T-Mobile, proposed 150-foot monopole cellular tower, 7.3 acres, property located at 142 Stones River Road, tax map 015M, Group C, parcel 1.00, C2, Highway Service, Commercial Zoning District, property owned by Virginia Frizzell. Ms. Costanzo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you remember, at the workshop, we did have some items that needed correction, and we did have some suggested changes as well. I can report that we now have the grading and the erosion control and the drainage calculations and hydrology report. We also have a detail of the paved access lane as requested. I did get a copy of the FAA and FCC letter that Mr. King brought up. They did, as you can see, they did align the compound, their compound with Stones River. Now, the lease area is, the larger lease area is not, but the actual compound that will be fenced in will be aligned with Stones River. In addition, they did remove the chain link fence, and they've provided a cedar slat fence for the overlay district instead of the vinyl. So at this time, and I should report that the Board of Zoning Appeals did grant the special exception at the meeting at 5:30 this evening. So at this moment, all technical items have been addressed for this item.
Okay. Do any members have any questions or comments?
I'm glad to address all the items that we brought up, and with that, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept and submit.
We have a motion to accept as submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
No.
Any opposed?
No.
Got one no. Let's have a roll call vote then, okay? Mr. Coates?
Aye.
No.
Mr. Carter? Aye.
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 Aye, okay. So it is approved as submitted. Okay. Number 2, item number 2, set bond amount for public improvements in the Walmart commercial subdivision requested by J.R. Wilhite, Carlson Consulting, 41.44 acres. Property located at the intersection of Murfreesboro and Fergus Roads. Tax map 018, parcel 2.00, C2, Highway Service Commercial Zoning District, property owned by Walmart. Mr. Costanzo.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, the only thing that we were missing at the workshop was an actual stamped and signed letter with the bid breakout, which we now have in your packet.
Okay.
So, assuming that we will go with the average with the 20%, that would be the $538,641.12 number there that you see in the average column.
Okay. Mr. Brown, are you satisfied with this?
Yes.
Okay. Does any member have any comments, questions?
Mr. Chairman, I think we discussed at the workshop, and with staff's recommendation, I'll go ahead and make the recommendation to accept the $538,641.12 bond amount.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to set the bond amount at $538,641.12 for the public improvements in the Walmart commercial district. Everyone in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. It is passed. It is approved. Number 3, ordinance to amend the municipal zoning ordinance as it pertains to alternative financial services. Ms. Costanzo.
Okay, in your packet you have a full ordinance. It's going to now be 2015-11. I did send it out to you with the revised section that added in the distance requirement of 1,320 linear feet or 1/4 mile, such that in the future, no alternative service business may be located any less than that distance from another one or from any residentially zoned property. That's the only change that I made to the ordinance that we looked at the workshop, which of course now has a new definition, places it into the C2 and the C4 zoning districts, and then also adds in the new locational requirements.
Okay, just from my own curiosity, how will this be enforced, this 1/4 mile district? I mean, at what point in the process would it be enforced? As they come in to buy a business license for it, or, you see my question? I'm just curious.
That's a good point. I guess if it's a new, probably, the business license could be one factor that would trigger, a call to my department, especially now since the finance department and the planning department are working a little bit more closely.
Hand in hand, okay.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I was just curious, do you have any other questions from the board member?
No, I think we did discuss at length, and with the addition we added on for our discussion, then I think it fits what we're trying to do here.
I mean, I think it's a good idea and a good plan. I just want to make sure it could be implemented, you know, that different folks are talking to each other to get the desired results, I guess I should say. And so,
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question. Can you
Okay.
give us some background, or give me some background on the 1/4 mile limitation? Why is it limited to a 1/4 mile, not a half or 3/4?
Right, that's a good question. I inquired myself. Several other communities have adopted the same locational distance, and they've had a lot of legal teams look at that, come up with that as an approvable standard, and
probably a reasonable solution to it, probably what they've done.
I mean, the point is to
You can't restrict it,
get a
you
hold,
can't restrict
right.
it totally.
We're just trying to get a hold on the number so that we don't have, 15 of the same types of businesses all
That's what I was
in the
getting
same
at,
area.
too.
Exactly.
1/4
So-
mile to me just doesn't seem,
Whether or not,
Well, and I know we discussed at the workshop how close the existing ones are. And with the only two that are less than a 1/4 mile apart is the new Advanced Financial and its proximity to Tennessee Quick Cash, which I believe is 5108 in the strip mall, where it's literally, I think it's 700 feet. 730 feet, so that will prevent something like that occurring in the future.
And this will in no way affect anything existing.
No, absolutely not. Anything that's in place now will continue to can continue to operate under, it will make them technically grandfathered, but they're still in compliance.
And in the future, if one of those businesses go out of business, then the ordinance would supersede whatever moves in following that, correct?
Would it fall under the, was it 18 months?
well, it wouldn't be grandfathered. I mean, what he's talking about, if you have it in a particular location, they were to go out of business, could another one come in immediately and start right there at that same location?
Oh.
Not just
They
another one,
technically-
they would have to be the same one, wouldn't they?
The grandfathering provision technically would hold up for, it's 30 months that, there has to be a separation of 30 months or greater before the grandfathering goes away.
Well, yeah.
So
The
that's
same
just Tennessee
company.
law.
That's just the same company, though, it's not a different company coming in.
No, it could be a different company.
Okay.
It's just that
Okay.
the Tennessee code states that anything commercial or industrial that's grandfathered, there has to be a separation of 30 months before that grandfathering provision goes away.
Okay.
we ran
So-
into this once
Okay.
before with the trash company that thought they didn't have to be grandfathered in, and it was on the Boza.
Oh, on Cheney Boulevard, okay. on
Yes,
Cheney.
exactly. And there was a break in ownership as well as operations,
Yeah.
and it was still grandfathered in.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Is everyone clear on?
I'm clear, but I got one more question, because I remember this discussion, and I remember, Okay, if one of them were to leave, and let's just say businessman X comes in and he opens it up as a flower shop, it's over, right?
Correct.
That's
Now,
what
if-
I was-
right,
okay,
then
that's
it would
what I
not, somebody
understand.
couldn't come in after the flower shop,
Right.
because, that's correct.
It has to be consecutive.
Even
30
with-
minutes.
If
even
it
if-
changed, right.
Or
Even-
empty for,
Yeah,
okay.
it'd change usage is what you're saying.
Right, change of usage, that's what I was trying to,
Yeah,
okay.
wouldn't
Yes.
apply, would not
It would
apply.
not, if they
Would
lose
not
it.
apply. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd
Yes,
like to ask you a question.
Yes.
I thought I heard a while ago said we could not actually keep so many people from coming in, but don't we have an ordinance that you can have 3 liquor stores in town?
I'm not sure.
That is correct.
Okay.
So if they can do that,
Why can't we? Yeah,
Oh,
Limit.
the reason is, Mr. King, is in the ordinance for the liquor store is set up by the population, where this isn't. And that's the difference.
okay, okay.
And you can certainly put provisions on land use. It's just that we can't zone out or prevent legal businesses from operating legally in Laverne. We can't say you cannot have this business at all. If it's a legal operating business under the state, that's recognized by the state, then we have to allow it somewhere. But we are allowed to put provisions like this on certain types of
To
businesses.
restrict so many in a certain area, that's what we're trying to do, yeah, okay. Okay. Any other comments about, do we need to send a recommendation to the mayor and
Yes.
board of aldermen in?
That is
Okay.
correct.
So, Mr. Chairman, on discussion, I'll make a motion to send a favourable recommendation to the Mayor and Alderman for the ordinance as submitted.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ordinance has been sent to the mayor and alderman as a favorable recommendation. Okay. Okay, discussion, new amendment for review, definitions, Old Nashville Highway overlay, design and,
Oh, you must have a really
you
old
got, oh, do I have an old
agenda,
one?
sir.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. You're exactly correct. We're going on to the bonds and letters of credit. I was looking at the wrong one. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I wondered why everybody looked kind of stunned. That's why. That's why. Mr. Brown.
Mr. Chairman, everything is up to date on the bond list. Arbor Heights Phase 2, I have received an email copied of the renewed letter of credit. I'm just waiting on the original in the mail. And then Hampton Roads Phase 3, I've talked to the developer and the bank, and it's being renewed also.
Okay. So we're in good shape on that right there. So will the bond with Walmart show up on this sheet when they?
Once they record the plat, I'll put it on the sheet.
Okay, okay. Okay, very good. Does any member have anything else tonight? Staff, anything else? Okay.
Anything else?
This meeting will be adjourned.